Yo, what up? Um, let's get it popping. Yo, it is study hall episode. This is the fifth study hall we've done. I've actually been counting this one correctly because I've actually been checking beforehand, so the initial count was correct and all that jazz like that. Shout out to everybody who's been checking out the study hall sessions. It's really just me. Studying for my show. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing too wild. I also have discovered the Twitch dashboard thing, Twitch creator dashboard. I've been using OBS alone, like by itself, but now I have discovered what seems to be a close to slightly more effective way of monitoring my Twitch stream at the very least. Yeah, as you can tell, I get easily distracted on this. A big piece of information just dropped that I've been kind of like not talking about on this show, but I'm going to be the head coach for those of you who are familiar, of the initiated. I'm going to be the head coach of the local Quidditch team here in Houston called the League City Legends. And why is it not showing that I'm live? There it is. I'm going to be the local head coach of the League City Legends here, so a lot of people are texting me, like, congratulations and stuff like that, and then my typical friends are, there it is right there. There's the official announcement. I'm going to be head coach. My friend John's going to be the GM, and then Team USA hopeful, who I think should be on Team USA, Hayden Boyce is going to be assistant coach. Might add one more assistant coach to the staff after tryouts, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what the big announcement is. I've been not talking about it on purpose because it's been a little bit of a struggle to not mention it, because I'm super pumped to get the opportunity to train a younger generation of players and have some old vets on the team as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. The goal is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, to get these dubs at all times, at any given time. We're about to body these fools, man. We out here getting the dubs, and eventually they'll hand us that trophy at the end of the season. That's the fucking goal, and we're gonna get there. Damn. Yeah, so you know how study hall works. If you've been here before, if this is your first time, study hall is basically where I should actually label the fucking thing that I use. Study hall is a episode of the Broke Boy Sports Podcast that I used to study for the podcast on Friday, because the Friday show is such a gigantic recap as you see me scrolling through my scenes that I should have labeled correctly, so that I would know which one is the one that I'm using. Yeah, I did some modifications, as you can see. Rename. Ooh, my bad. Study hall. Yeah, so you can see I did some slight modifications. We got a ticker here on the right-hand side to to cover the subjects that we're talking about today, and I'm gonna make some adjustments live on here to make sure that you can actually read the words that are on the screen. I don't know if you actually can, because I don't see it very often from a viewer perspective. So I'm actually gonna try and go make that happen right now and make sure that I get it all lined up here. So don't worry, I've not abandoned you. I'm not going to be a dick about it. And, oh, wow, by the way, shout out. We're up to 54 followers, guys. I don't know how the hell this is happening, but I appreciate everybody who's hopping in and conversing with us. Let's see. Can you guys actually read that print? If you have it full screen, you can. If you have it, like, kind of minimize, you can't. So I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to make the adjustment. We're gonna make it happen. We're going to be respectful of the people who took the time This is a great time, if you are a sports fan, to get a glimpse of what an elite podcaster does to get ready for his show, aka me. You know, not me. I'm not actually an elite podcaster. Trying to get there though. Trying to become elite. And of course, as soon as I transition to like literally anything else, we're going to have to as soon as I transition to like literally any other page that's not this ESPN article, we're going to have to, fix it. It's going to have to get resized. So if you're in the chat, please remind me. I don't get what is going on. Do you not understand what background opacity is, bro? Fix it. Fix the opacity. I believe in you. That's so weird. It's so delicate. Like, the opacity is not scaled properly. Like, if you put it at 85, it's still the same degree of clear as it is at 95. But yeah, we're gonna stick with 100. I wanted it to be cool and kind of see through or whatever, but it's not gonna work with this article having to be this big. Anyway. Ooh, man. Don't give away the secrets, bro. Anyway. We're just gonna read some articles. We got articles set up down here on the right hand side. As a matter of fact, we're not even reading articles. We're starting our study hall by going through and looking at the brackets that I have set up. As soon as I find them, this was like one of the most difficult things for me last week, trying to find my bracket. You guys want to look at my shitty fantasy basketball team? We can look at that. Actually, I can just make my adjustments right now. So there are games in progress right now. I would like to point out the coin has officially surpassed me. So unless something goes, so we can click on why the coin surpassed me. The coin now has a higher potential than I do, right? If you were not tuned in to last week's study hall episode, so Dumpster Fire is my regular bracket using my brain, my excellent sportscastery brain. I'm currently ahead by over 100 points, right? I have 420 points to 310 because I use a little bit of common sense. I did not predict Longwood to win their first NCAA game as a 16 seed, so that helped me out a bunch. I did not predict South Dakota State to go to the Final Four, which the coin did, to face off against UCLA, who would eventually become, or Ohio State. Anyway, also didn't pick Ohio State to go to the Final Four. So we can look at the bracket, and we'll talk about it. Dumpster Fire is my personal bracket. Tails Never Fails is the coin flip bracket that we did 3 hours before the tournament started last week. So yeah, tons of fun. Shout out to everybody once again for joining us. We're gonna click on the bracket that you guys, that was weird. Dumpster Fire. Let's click on it. So I need to do something else real quick. I also need to open up Twitch on here, but I don't want people to see my desktop. You won't, because that's how it goes. Also, not to see my Discord. You can see my Discord. I don't have anything in there. I'm not in any of that. I'm sure there are a bunch of kink Discords that I'm just not invited to. I'll live with it, though. I'll survive. Shout out Barry on Deck for being on live right now. Shout out to him. He's the reason that we are. By the way, guys, shout out to everybody who's making this happen. But we are like one requirement away from being at the we need to average 3 viewers per like hour or something like that on the show. Let me check real quick. I forgot what it is. We need to check. Wow, my bit rate's all over the place. That's really weird. We need to average 3 concurrent viewers, basically, and we're at 1.8. So once we do that, we will be affiliate. It's wild. Let's see. Manage stream. Chilling out there. Shout out to all the people who are following and stuff. Really appreciate that, actually. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. So we're just doing a quick bracket update, and then we're going to move on with our lives. You cannot see what happened in the round of 32 because my screen is technically blocking it. So let me see if we can fix that real quick. Man, my delay is massive on Twitch, bro. Oh yeah, we're good. We can make this work. We can make that work. So round of 64, we had Gonzaga winning in the first round. Got that. That was pretty easy, right? That was a gimme when it was all said and done. We had we correctly flipped. So we correctly predicted like one of the most hotly contested matchups of round 32, which was of course Memphis and Gonzaga, which by the way lived up to the hype. You don't see that too often. Shout out to the kids for making that happen and giving us the entertainment that we all thought we wanted and needed, and we did. I knew we were gonna have to instantaneously modify the way this thing is sized up. But yeah, here we go. We should be good now. Anyway, back to the tournament breakdown. Sorry. Yeah, so we got Memphis Gonzaga in the first. We got that matchup correct. We got Arkansas, New Mexico State correct. Shout out to my boy Jabari Rice, because if it wasn't for him, I would not have picked New Mexico State to pull that upset. They did, and they looked really good beating UConn. UConn apparently couldn't make a goddamn shot to save their life. If you watched that game, I'm sorry, because it was pretty bad from UConn's perspective. But there they are. The 5 seed eliminated one of the biggest upsets of the first round. Arkansas beat Vermont. That wasn't really up for grabs. Alabama, one of the biggest hyped SEC teams, went up against Notre Dame, who had to win a play-in game to get in there. They went up against Texas Tech, who I have a teammate of mine on from my Quidditch team who has been just in my fucking ear about how good Texas Tech is. So my mind is naturally skewed and biased towards Texas Tech. There's no question about it whatsoever. Yeah, Texas Tech beat Montana State like we all suspected, and then they beat Notre Dame in that following round. They beat the shit. This is one of the biggest. This is like one of the most embarrassing losses of the NCAA tournament. Texas Tech versus Montana State. So, shout out. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Shout out to everybody who made that happen. There's a lot of people. So, Texas Tech, Montana State. Should probably tweet about this show being live. I realized I did not do that before we dove into this. We'll do it after the bracket. Michigan State. Not an upset for them. A lot of people were really down on Michigan this year, but they advanced on to play against Duke, which is a hotly contested. Everybody wanted that to happen. It's Coach K's final year. It's, Tom Izzo's month. Tom Izzo's time of the month, if you will. They beat Cal State Fullerton, and Michigan State beat Davidson, who had one of their former players on their roster. So that was like a big deal that everybody was kind of they were trying to make it into a storyline that it actually wasn't. But Davidson, great matchup for sure. 74-73. One of those dramatic finishes if you were paying attention. Baylor goes on. I picked Baylor to win this whole bracket, so that's why we have a problem here, because they lost to North Carolina in the second round. And also the women's team lost to North Carolina. Shout out to Queen Egbo, who I covered in high school, and she played her final game. My girlfriend was watching their game. When I came over to her apartment or whatever after practice, and it was really sad watching Queen and Baylor, play their final game together. There was like 7 seniors on the team, so that was a bummer for me personally. But yeah, shout out. What else we got here? What else we got her? Sorry, I was looking at something else. There's so many things to pay attention to at one time while I'm doing this stream. Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody in the chat, because sometimes people hop in randomly and I know I miss them. Yeah, so North Carolina overachieving, some people would say, because the ACC is down. Although we'll talk about something that's happening that's really funny later on about the ACC. St. Mary's, big upset. Not really. Beat Indiana. Big Ten team. Big Ten was like the Big Ten was the hot conference on the block coming into this tournament because of how well Illinois was playing or whatever. But yeah, UCLA with two, they make it seem like they only got 2 good players on their team, but they beat Akron in the first round, and they beat St. Mary's in the second pretty handily. Johnny Juzang going out there and doing the thing like he did last year. Texas versus Virginia Tech. A lot of people, including myself, were rooting against Texas just out of like pure natural instinct to hate Texas and everything that school stands for. Mostly because their fans are annoying. Anyway, Texas wins, Texas wins, goes up against Purdue, loses to Purdue. Shout out Jabari Smith. Probably going to be, people are not projecting him to be the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft for Purdue. Wait, did I say that right? Anyway, Yale, that was an easy matchup. Murray State, big win for them. Continuing on the legacy, they lost to the Cinderella story easily of the NCAA tournament. St. Peter's not only beat Kentucky with a bunch of dudes from New York and New Jersey. Everybody's commented very subtly on the appearance of a lot of these players. And St. Peter's took on Murray State, beat them by 10, and has now advanced on to play Purdue, one of the best teams in the country throughout the course of the season. Arizona, still alive in it, man, keeping the legacy alive. They will face off against the University of Houston. This is a matchup that we got 100% correct. We did not, of course, predict St. Peter's beating Kentucky, because I watched exactly negative 10 seconds of St. Peter's basketball throughout the course of the season. So, Arizona, TCU combined together. U of H beating one of the best teams in the tournament, mainly because, defense wins championships. And guess what? U of H does better than 99% of the teams in the country. They play some fucking defense. They go out there and they grind it out. They go out there and get it. They, especially considering they play UAB, who had one of the best individual scores in this tournament to begin off with it. And they shut him down pretty easily. That's shout out Jelly. Hopefully he's got some eligibility left and he'll be back again next year. Illinois, at one point, the number one team in the country, eliminated in the round of 32, thanks to the University of Houston. What a time to be alive. What a time. Sorry, I'm getting messages from people. Everybody's texting me about this fucking. Sorry. Once again, getting messages about like becoming a head coach and shit like that. And then on top of that, also a big fight happened. I don't know if anybody. So I guess we can talk about it now. We'll read the article later on this here program, but Kobe Covington and Jorge Masvidal got into a fight outside of a restaurant, and apparently like Kobe Covington's tooth is broken, so their fight is off for this weekend, and they will be doing Brandon Moreno versus the God of War, former hairstylist, now UFC champion. I forget what his full name is, but anyway, they're doing that this weekend. No free ads. If you know, you know. If you know what that is, you know what it is. Colorado State, Michigan, big win for Colorado State. Big loss for Colorado State. Michigan, I guess you could say Michigan is one of the Cinderellas of this tournament too. They had a pretty bad season. Somehow ended. A lot of people are saying that they should not have been an 11 seed or whatever. They performed very, very well. They'll play Villanova tomorrow? 2 days from now, on Thursday. They'll play Villanova 2 days from now on Thursday, and then Wednesday, they beat Tennessee, who was like one of the sneaky picks that a lot of people were really high on coming out of the SEC tournament, who beat Longwood. Ohio State wins. Ohio State was, I fell for the stupid Loyola Chicago hype or whatever. And Villanova beat Ohio State, a team that a lot of people, people love to see Ohio State lose. That's how you know you made it, like, as a program. When people don't give a fuck about how good you do when you win, they can't wait to see you lose, right? Same thing with Texas, Ohio State. They're all in the same vein because their fans are so fucking annoying because they don't know how to actually win with any sort of grace whatsoever because, once you have power and leverage over somebody else, most people are real dicks about it. That's just facts. Kansas, Texas Southern. This was disappointing. Texas Southern, my former school. I will not say alma mater because I did not graduate from Texas Southern. My former school smoked in the first round versus Kansas, who's still just cruising along. They beat Creighton by 8. That was a really clutch game. They had one guy who made like 7 threes or some shit like that. Crazy. Iowa, Richmond. Once again, I told you guys, Richmond has some sick-ass uniforms. They have, like, a Spider-Man uniform that they have not worn, which is disappointing. They have, like, a full-on one where it's like Marvel should be suing them, and they did not wear it in their matchup. But they did lose in the second round to Providence, one of the most fundamentally sound teams in the tournament, so they're, like, not fun to watch for people who don't know anything about basketball. But guess what? They grind teams who are streaky into the dirt because once again they're like super consistent. That's their whole thing. They're basically like a flat line with the way their team plays, and now they're going up against Kansas, and that could pan out for them, man. We'll see what happens. This should be a really, really good game on Friday. LSU, Iowa State. LSU got smoked in the first round by Iowa State, and then Iowa State beat Wisconsin, the Big Ten regular season champion, in the second round, in the round of 32. And in the major upset, Miami beats USC, and then goes on to beat the former number one team in the country, Auburn, in the round of 32. Now they will be playing against Iowa State, both teams that I did not predict to be there. So out of all the matchups so far in the round of 32, we're not going to break down the round of 32, but in the Sweet 16, I have So out of 16, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams out of the Sweet 16. I feel pretty good about that. That's off my natural understanding and inclination. 11 teams, 11 out of 16 teams in the Sweet 16 based off of just my brain power, my excellent sports analysis is the way I'll phrase it. So with that being said, let's go to the coin flip bracket and see the absolute chaos that place is, because it's just been, honestly, it's been a shit show. But guess what? That shit show is pretty close to being able to beat me. 11 out of 16 is not bad, especially for a guy who did not watch. I read more than I watched on some of these teams that are in the NCAA tournament. I watched a lot of Big 12 basketball because it comes on regular cable here in Houston. And then I also watched a ton of SEC basketball because I have the SEC network. And I also watched a bunch of like the ESPN Saturday games. I watched those. But yeah, let's go to the Tails Never Fails bracket, which is the coin flip bracket. I wish I put this in my friends group. Anyway, I will say this. The difference between Tails Never Fails and Dumpster Fire, as you can tell, one still has the ability to correctly predict the NCAA champion. Because Baylor lost, I no longer can predict the champion. So that means I have at least one wrong in the Final Four. Even though there's... we'll get to it. Anyway, as you can tell, so the Sweet 16 is right here. Let's go back to the round of 32. And just talk about how stupid this bracket was. If you don't know, this bracket was selected via coin flip multiple times. So the heads was the high seed, the tail was the low seed. Is how I picked this bracket. It got multiple 1 seeds through the first round, which is really impressive. Gonzaga got that one. It incorrectly predicted Memphis to go on to win. That one I didn't feel comfortable about when I flipped it because I was like, that's at least half that matchup wrong. It predicted UConn to advance, and they did not. It correctly predicted Arkansas to win. Incorrect on Alabama, like I was on my bracket. Correct about Texas Tech. By the way, it got Texas Tech all the way to the final, the Elite Eight. No, all the way to the Final Four to lose to UCLA to go to the national championship game. So that one has got a lot of hope on that line. Michigan State, it correctly predicted Michigan State's upset. That's one of like 3 upsets it correctly predicted, to be honest with you. It correctly predicted Duke to win. It correctly predicted Baylor. Did not predict the upset in the second round. It got Marquette incorrect because North Carolina won that one. So it lost that one, and it lost the whole segment here. So it predicted St. Mary's to win as the high seed. UCLA is what it predicted to be the champion. So it got that one. It has UCLA correct so far. And like in dominating fashion. UCLA had a tough time against the Akron Zips. Most of that was like the last second. In the second half, they kind of came back on them a little bit. Like not a major comeback or anything. But Texas, Virginia Tech. It got Virginia Tech wrong. I remember celebrating because it didn't predict Texas to win. It got Purdue correct, Murray State correct. It got Kentucky wrong. It picked the high seed Kentucky and did not get that upset correct. By the way, Kentucky has some kid from Houston on the team. I was watching them miss free throws, and they were like from Houston, Texas. And by the way, that was what undid Kentucky. We've gone over it like 5 times already, but we'll do it again. Kentucky shot 64% from the free throw line. So they actually had multiple possessions where St. Peter's won defensively. They gave up a foul, but they didn't give up points. And at the end of the day, it's not who has the most fouls that wins the game. The fouls can affect your ability to play at your full strength as a basketball player, but it does not determine who wins and loses the game. But yeah, they gave points to Wright State multiple times over. I'm sorry, they gave points to St. Peter's multiple times over. Somebody just post. You guys ever had that one friend who posts the lineup chart for like festivals and shit like that place in different places? Yeah, we just had that drop in the group chat. Let's see. It's Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza, wild as fuck. Every year I grow older, I know fewer and fewer bands at Lollapalooza. That's how I signify my age. That's how I count my age. I will say I still know the headliners. They got Metallica this year. I don't know how, and quite frankly, don't know why. Whatever. Oh boy. That's the spicy. That's the spice. It's really not spicy, but it tastes good. That's my favorite one, cherry lime lift of that mysterious drink that I was drinking. Where were we at? Oh, we were at Kentucky. Wright State, it predicted the upset of Arizona in the first round. It was incorrect. Arizona still alive in the game. And it also predicted like whoever won this matchup to beat it correctly predicted TCU, and then whoever TCU would play predicted that TCU would win. It was wrong on that as well. It picked UAB, Chattanooga. It picked Michigan, which is one of its correct upsets that it picked. It picked Longwood. It picked Delaware. And those are all incorrect. It did have a lot invested in Ohio State. Ohio State was all the way to the Final Four for the coin flip bracket. So that was tough. That was a tough loss. So yeah, we can look at it in a second. It correctly predicted Ohio State, and we can see how bad the damage is from predicting Ohio State to win and not getting them past the second round. They got beat pretty badly by Villanova. It got Kansas correct. It got Creighton correct. It predicted the upset from Richmond correctly. South Dakota State, it had it all. It had South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, all the way in the Final Four. They lost in the first round of the tournament in a strange matchup, I'll say that. It was it was South Dakota State trying to come back the entire game, and every time they got close, Providence would get like 3 buckets in a row. LSU, it predicted LSU to win. That was wrong, big time wrong. It predicted Wisconsin, Miami, and Auburn correctly as well. It did not predict what would happen to Auburn in the next round correctly, though, because it predicted Auburn to beat Miami, which is incorrect. So far, let's look at the Sweet 16. I'm pretty sure it only has like 3 teams in the Sweet 16. Let's see. So it has Gonzaga. That's 1. It got Texas Tech and Duke like I did. So that's 2. Yeah, it got Texas Tech and Duke. So that's 2. And it got UCLA. That's 3. It got Purdue correctly. That's 4. Did not get that one right. It's got 4 so far. It's got 5 because it got Kansas correct. And that's it. It's got 5 of the Sweet 16. Tough business there. Tough business. So we can look at what it has on the line. So it has more. It technically has more maximum points that it can achieve than I can. But let's see how likely that is. So it's got Gonzaga going on to win. And it's already got this wrong, right? Because it had UConn beating Gonzaga to go to the Elite Eight. So that's already wrong. So whatever happens, Gonzaga is going to get in there. It has Texas Tech to win to get into the Elite Eight, which is very feasible, as a matter of fact. It has UCLA to win to eliminate North Carolina now, and then it has Purdue to win. So it has 2 teams that it can get correct here to get into the Elite Eight, and that would be 2 Elite Eight. It would get 3 Elite Eight teams, which would be great for it, which is why it probably has a higher percentage chance. And if it gets Michigan to win, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It needs Kansas to win. No, it doesn't, because it predicts South Dakota State to get all the way to the Final Four. It predicted South Dakota State to get all the way to the Final Four. So, yeah, this is the Final Four that it has. Texas Tech, UCLA, Ohio State, and South Dakota State. So, as you can see, neither one of its Final Four predictions on the bottom half of the bracket are even possible. Elite Eight, let's go back up 1. It can get Texas Tech and get UCLA, can get Purdue, and it cannot get anything else. The maximum it can get is 3, whereas I can get more than that. I have 11 teams still in play that can move on to the next round. So, yeah, not looking too good. I will say the coin's doing a lot better than I thought it would, mainly because I didn't think I was that dumb when it came to predicting this stuff. But here we are. And with that said, we're going to take a little break because I need to send out some tweets real quick so that I can get people in here while it's live instead of retroactively, which happens. My bad. Let's go to the hydration break slide. Let's take a little hydration break. When we come back, we'll get to reading. Yeah, I know. Tons of fun, right? Oh, let me turn up that lo-fi for you. You know, just for you, because I like you that much. Come on. I believe in you. I know. Absolutely riveting what's going on right now. Do I have, like, where's the hip-hop lo-fi? I think I'm on the jazz one. I am on the jazz one. I'm sorry. That's why it sounds like elevator music. Let me fix that. Sorry, guys.
Did you know that coffee can cause insomnia, anxiety, and headache?
I don't know. I don't like these. I don't like the fact these ads are playing. There we go. Hip-hop lo-fi. That's better for you, I guess. Ooh. Man, I was watching a TikTok live stream last night, and it was like a dude in Zambia. There's a dude in Zambia walking around the shops, and like he got followed by these two guys, and then he bought him breakfast, and they just like kept following him until he got to his car. It was weird. I'm assuming he knew them because like he kept telling them to go away, but they wouldn't go away or whatever. But he went to like the shops, and you got to kind of like see what Zambia is like, and I was like, damn, man. You know, could be a lot worse though. Could be worse, bro. Could be a lot worse is what I'll say for me personally. Now, I'm not talking about other people and shit. I'm talking about for me. It could be a lot worse. And that's what those kind of streams remind me of. I'll still never get over the fact that like I saw a dude in a fucking subway tunnel when the war started in Ukraine, and everybody was saying they were waiting on a train so they can get out of town, and then there was other people like, nah, dude, this is a bomb shelter. They hunkering down for a while. I think that's all the stuff I need. Select all, copy, post. Maybe I'll actually, since I'm the head coach, maybe I'll actually invite my family to League City Legends games because I know I'll be playing in them, as opposed to what's happened in years past where I have not played in them. Yo, let's get it. Just got a new follower on Twitter. Your favorite outlaw. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like, as a black dude, every person that describes themselves as an outlaw on the internet, typically you and I have some opposing views on how the world is supposed to function. Not to be that guy, but, you know, just being for real. Just being real. Just being real about it. So we got Facebook in there. Let's do an Instagram one. Sorry guys, we're almost done with our break. That is actually just an excuse for me to post. I can't believe how close we are to affiliate, guys. Like, honestly, like, legit not possible without you guys. Oh man, here we go. It's so awkward doing it on Instagram for some reason. It's just like not a platform built for doing stuff live unless you're live on the platform. If that makes any sense. Like, I can't even say that Twitter is a good platform for doing that live, but it just feels like you never know like when somebody's gonna see your shit on Instagram, especially because they now have algorithmic systems for like showing you shit in a certain order depending upon how you've liked things. Like, they prioritize certain things. It's so weird. Anyway, just gonna open this can. Ignore that. It's like technically my 6th and 7th cup of coffee. All right, we back. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to going and trying to be rich and famous. All right. Oh shit. Get back to work. Get back on that grind, baby. I say get back on the grind. I don't even like that terminology because it makes it seem like you have to fucking grind yourself in the dust to exist in this world and chase your dream, which is not true. I understand hard work is necessary, but sacrificing being a person is not. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna start reading stories, man. I gotta catch up on stuff and educate myself. Outside linebacker Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith, if you haven't been keeping up with his path, he was technically the best pass rusher for the Packers last season. He had a situation where he was going to sign with the Minnesota Vikings and did not when it was all said and done. He was going to sign with the Baltimore Ravens, my bad. He was going to sign with the Baltimore Ravens, and that did not end up happening because reasons. I'm assuming this article also is going to tell me like the side shit that happened that prevented that from going down. Oh, shit. Wrong thing to move. Wrong thing. Move the wrong thing. Trying to move my webcam. Trying to correct the size of my webcam, baby. So we can make this shit bigger so you guys can see more. Not see more, but you know. It can be closer. We're supposed to be looking at March Madness stories, but hey, that's what the schedule's for, so it can be broken. Sorry. Outside linebacker Zadarius Smith has agreed to terms on a 3-year, $42 million contract with the Minnesota Vikings. Sources tell ESPN's Jeremy Fowler and Adam Schefter on a Tuesday. The deal can be worth up to $47 million if he reaches incentives, according to the sources. I'm going to tell you this right now. Based off of what I know about the incentives of Kirk Cousins' contract, like the previous contracts that he's had, because I've read too much money. I've read too many articles about how Kirk Cousins has been getting away with highway robbery. Honestly, I said it on Twitter and I say it again in real life. I'll say it again on this stream. Sam Bradford crawled so that Kirk Cousins could fly. Anyway, the incentives are crazy. They're like, basically you get $1 million for every round of the playoffs that you end up going to. And if this deal is worth, let's see, how many years is it? So like 3 years, how many rounds of the playoffs? I think you get $1 million if you get like a bye, if you earn like a bye in the playoffs or some shit like that. So it's wild card, divisional, conference, Super Bowl, right? So that's 4, and you get like a certain million amount of dollars for winning the Super Bowl. Usually it's like $5 million or like $3 million or some shit like that. But if you just do the it's wild card, divisional, conference, Super Bowl. If you do 3 weekends and each one is worth $1 million over the course of 3 years, that's 3 times 3, right? It's $9 million. That's like a fourth of this deal, right? It's almost a fifth of this deal, my bad. It's more than a fifth of this deal because it's $47 million in comparison to $9 million. But yeah, that's how math works, kids. Don't listen to me. I don't know shit. Oh shit, hold on. I'm trying to fix something real quick. Sorry, y'all. There we go. But yeah, Zadarius Smith with a contract for $47 million with the ability to reach incentives. Let's see if the Vikings announced Tuesday they had reached a deal with Smith, but did not disclose the financial terms. Last week, Smith backed off an agreement, here we go, with the Baltimore Ravens when he decided not to sign a 4-year, $35 million deal, so more years, less money. That going to the Vikings gets you fewer years and more money, which is the equivalent of working less and getting more. Don't know how much of that is, did they say how much is guaranteed? It has the ability to get the $47 million. They did not mention the guaranteed money, which is concerning. Especially if you know what happened to Zadarius Smith last season. He did not sign a 4-year, $35 million deal, which, by the way, he would have been signing up to play for a better team with a better defensive line. Well, no. Yeah, no, it would be with a better defensive line. I'm looking at a stream from... That was weird. Sorry. I'm trying to monitor my stream utilizing the tools available to me, aka Twitch. They want to make it as hard as possible. Here we go. There we go. Anyway, going back to this. So he decided to opt out of a 4-year, $35 million deal. His decision paid off financially. The new deal will average him $14 million per season, which is nice. That's nice. You get 1 year, $14 million. You call that a win. Because remember, guys, when we do the math, NFL contracts aren't real. The first 2 years of a contract are like the only real years of an NFL contract, right? With $8.75 million average, he will be paid by the Ravens. So like almost doubling how much he would get paid in comparison to the Ravens deal. So that one less year and more money would almost double his salary. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings, who are, by the way, GM'd by a black man, actually brilliant black man as well. So shout out to him for that. A source told ESPN Jameson Hansley last week that the Ravens believed they had reached a verbal agreement. If you cover high school sports, you know what a verbal agreement is worth. It's a verbal agreement is 100% true until somebody else comes up with a better agreement. And you better hope that it's you that comes up with a better agreement. But a few hours later, he expressed second thoughts after 2 pass rushers had their big money deal. So he saw Von Miller and Chandler Jones get paid, and he was like, I'm on their caliber, which, you know, there's been a couple of weekends, I guess, in the past couple of years that Zadarius Smith has been better than Von Miller and Chandler Jones. I will also point out Zadarius missed time last season. Von Miller missed time the year before. Chandler Jones missed time before that as well. Veteran pass rushers that have the ability to be the number one pass rusher on your D line don't come along all that often. I don't think Zadarius was saying that he's anywhere near and of course he believes that he's at the top of he believes that he's in the same stratosphere as these guys, but Von Miller and Chandler Jones are Hall of Famers, and Zadarius Smith not so much. But he is one of the best pass rushers that is available right now, so he wants to get that money comparable to that, which is understandable. Also, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't blame players around here for getting that money. We blame teams for giving it to them sometimes, and that depends, because like Zadarius can pan out very, very well. Like Chandler got a lot of money and is going to be playing alongside Max Crosby. So he's getting help that he wasn't getting in Arizona. Well, I mean, they did. They tried to, but then J.J. Watt didn't play for the entirety of the season, right? Until the playoffs. But the Ravens tried to rework the deal, but the sides couldn't reach an agreement, the source added, which, of course, it's because the Ravens, one of the things that's listed on the side of, on the little kiosk thing on the right-hand side, the very last thing on the list is the NFL salary cap check. Because some of these teams, for instance, the shit that happened with the Ravens last night, with the Falcons last night, guess what, guys? Oh, man, they have, the Falcons have traded away. The Falcons traded away Matt Ryan, right? We know this. We know this to be true. But they also did not trade away the largest dead money cap hit in NFL history. So, yeah. Life comes at you fast, kids. Hold on, I need to fix something real quick. Somehow the hip-hop lo-fi is way louder. Anyway, that's it right there. So yeah, we see that we're not gonna do the little superlative. So basically, yeah. So like Danielle Hunter's coming back next year, which is gonna be huge for Zadarius Smith because once again, it's all about being able to get even pressure, right? Like if you guys don't know, like the strategy or like the strategy behind the concept of the pocket, right? The pocket is supposed to be like a little curvature, it's supposed to be like a semicircle, right? That's the best form the pocket can take because it allows for offensive linemen to help each other when and if they lose their pass rushing battle. So if you try and if you have a 3 alignment set, right? There's a nose tackle directly over the center. There's an end on the left-hand side. There's an end on the right-hand side. They snap the ball. Everybody drops back. The tackles are going to drop the deepest, right? Because they're dealing with the guys who are trying to get as much depth and get up the field as possible. And if somebody tries to cut inside or somebody tries to work their way inside, the guards are there to either help the defensive help on the nose tackle on either side and help on the defensive end on either side. So when you have even pass rush, that can force a guard. So like in the instance of a 3-man rush, if you have a nose tackle that can dominate and demolish a center, it's going to attract the attention of it's going to attract the attention of a guard. And if you have a defensive end who can win a one-on-one with a tackle, which they should be able to on the same side that the nose tackle is drawing defenders to him from, drawing offensive linemen to him from, beating a one-on-one and getting to the quarterback, that creates pass rushing balance because it doesn't create these weird lanes that if you have a semicircle, it's completely it's like it's sealed off, right? Like if a guard and a tackle and a center are all dropping back at the same rate, they're in a straight line across. But if the right side of the pocket is dropping back faster because the left defensive end has a better speed rush than the right defensive end, it makes it lopsided. It makes it look weird and stuff like that. And when it does that, it disrupts the pocket, but it also creates openings for quarterbacks to be able to get out of the pocket because the lopsided part of it, they just run to the side that's not lopsided, or they run to the gap, right? Because if you're a left end and you can get 15 yards up the field in the span of the same time that the right end gets up the field in 10 yards, it creates an uneven perspective. You've seen that happen a bunch if you watch football. But yeah, that's football 101. Weird shapes. That's a lot of sports just comes down to the geometry. I had a math teacher when I was like in 8th or 9th grade or some shit like that. Miss Aldana. She was really cool. She always taught me. She knew I liked sports a lot, and she always like talked about things in the spans of sports when she would tutor me separately, because she would talk about like, hey, Ashton, like you realize basketball players are some of the best like mathematicians on the planet, right? And I never looked at math ever again the same way when she mentioned it, because you talk about like angles, you talk about the arc of a shot and why the arc of a shot is the best way to shoot it. You talk about angles of entry and everything like that, and it helps you really understand things at a higher level. But shout out to Miss Aldana. Shout out to teachers that give a shit, which is like 99% of them. Let's be for real. Smith was the highest paid free agent ever signed by the general manager, Brian Gutekunst, which is the general manager for the Packers, who, as we can see, is making some changes. Shout out to Zadarius Smith for getting his money. Move on. We are supposed to be looking at NCAA shit, not NFL stuff. So we're going to scroll down here. Should be coming up here pretty soon. Like, this page is usually never this long. There's just so much stuff going on. The end of the NBA season's coming up. The NHL trade deadline went down, so there's a bunch of trades that happened, which is why all those stories are so long. And then, of course, the NFL is in the midst of free agency, so there's a story written every, like, fucking 30 minutes about something that may or may not have happened. Also, let's take a little second to check Twitter real quick. Chris Board wrote a farewell letter to everybody who supported him while he was in Baltimore. Feels like the Baltimore Ravens have been doing a lot more losing than gaining players, which is not great. Bart Scott has predicted the AFC divisional winners. I would also like to point out that everybody's laughing, but the Chiefs have progressively leaked more and more talent because of their salary cap situation. That's cool. We're gonna move on with our lives. What else? We're not talking about that. Nothing's going on. Nothing. Dan Lust is going to a... Oh, man. That is one thing that we're going to do. So, yesterday I was on... Twitter list. A list for Twitter. I have a list on Twitter for like every NBA team, and they post like promotional stuff to get you to come to the game and all that kind of jazz like that, and stuff like sweepstakes you can sign up for sponsors and everything. And so yesterday I was just like reading them off to my friend while we were on Discord. It was pretty funny. I was like, all right, Jonathan, which one of these is really tantalizing to you? And it turns out he picked one that was like a food bank or some shit like that for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But they were like giving away free tickets to, by the way, if you're a Pistons fan, you may not like the team and all that kind of shit like that, but you should just go for the deals. Like, they are, by the way, they're better than the Rockets right now. So what can I really say? This is a funny tweet. What does it say? The Atlanta Falcons spent more time thanking Drew Brees than they did Matt Ryan. That's brutal. That's not how it works, but what was I saying? Per Mike Garafolo, the Jaguars are hosting pass rusher Arden Key, who played for the 49ers, was a big part of why they were actually successful in carrying an entire offense to the second round of the playoffs. To the NFC Championship game. He's coming off a career year, and I don't think we determined his career year by 6.5 sacks. If you watched Arden Key, he's a fucking beast in terms of just getting pressure in general. Anthony Edwards, this is a cool play. Oh, crossover by Luka, stand in front of Luka, force that. Oh, damn, just force that brick from Luka Doncic. Shout out. Nike has unveiled a 3D billboard in Tokyo ahead of the 35th anniversary of the Nike Air Max. Nike Air Max Day, one of the only shoe that has its own day, by the way. And like, people legitimately celebrate that shit. All the throwback logos for the Sweet 16 schools. That's cool. And they're asking which one is the coolest. I'm gonna tell you this one right now. This what we got here? This is the Gonzaga logo. Oh yeah, because of the Bulldogs. Man, these are like legitimately the oldest of the old school. I cannot emphasize how old school these logos fucking look. Sorry, you guys can't see the Georgia Bulldog one. I'm sorry, the Gonzaga one right there. Let me just scoot it over there for a little bit. Yeah, this Gonzaga one is like old school as hell. But yeah, these are like all the old school logos. I feel like you should force them all to wear these. Just force them all to wear these when they're playing for this upcoming weekend. Honestly, they all have fucking big time brand name sponsors. They all have big time sports apparel sponsors. They have to be like, hey, look, we have a uniform that's like literally just like that one year where they made the NBA players wear the short shorts because they made them wear the old school logo. The Nike made them wear the like throwback the actual throwback NBA uniforms and shit like that. So they ended up wearing the short shorts and everything, and all you could see was dudes' leggings and compression shorts underneath. It was pretty funny. Anyway, Arizona's got a cool one. I like that one, but it doesn't speak like Arizona University, the home of the Wildcats, right? U of H has the old logo. It's just the U and the H, which, by the way, if you told me that was the old school logo, I wouldn't believe you. Miami has the dopest one. I'm gonna go with that. Miami as the dopest of the throwback logos on that one. Let's go. All right, let's move on. That was a good little break. I don't know why. I just pulled up my Discord again. All right, let's get back to work, guys. We're supposed to do men's college basketball. Ranking the all-time starting five of the NCAA. No thanks. Malik Renault, basketball recruits from decommits from Florida. That's pretty big. Oh, by the way, have you guys been seeing LSU's been losing recruits like left and right? Apparently, they had like 3 dudes decommit. This past weekend. It was really weird. Like, just out of nowhere. Life comes at you fast, kids. Remember, don't let adults make you feel bad for making a decision that they, 1, should have no say over whatsoever, and then 2, have never been in a position to be able to make that decision. That was my biggest thing when I was in college. Like, I would see adults go at, like, legitimately adults that, like, there was one time, and I'll say this because I know it'll never get back to him. I used to cover Mike Mayock from the from the Las Vegas Raiders and NFL Network. I used to cover his nephew when he was in college. I'm sorry, not when he was in college, but when he was in high school at Clements High School. He went to the same school that Derek Carr went to when he was here in Houston, and it's like the rich kid part of town in Sugar Land. It's like the rich part of town, which is funny. But if you know, you know, right? And his uncle, so I get it was his dad, so it was Mike Mayock's brother, like legitimately tweeted like there was a kid who decommitted from like a school and all this kind of jazz like that. And I don't know if you guys have ever, like, of course, a good chunk of you guys probably don't pay attention to like high school stuff, but they had this one thing that they had this one thing at one point where they were like committed 1,000%. And they still do it sometimes, but it's like a thing that the kids do because they're like, there's like a group of guys who are like making fun of dudes who are like decommit and recommit and all that kind of stuff like that because it happens all the time, right? And there was like one dude who was like, I just want y'all to know I'm committed 1,000%. Like this kind of like try hard thing, but it wasn't really a try hard thing. It was really like make fun of people who like wishy-washy and stuff like that, even though you shouldn't be. Like if you make your choice, you make your choice. And one kid decommitted, and Mike Mayock's brother like took a screenshot or like quote tweeted the committed 1,000% tweet and was like, I guess 1,000% isn't as much as it used to be or something like that. And it's like he had no investment in where that kid was actually going, but it was a kid that was in the district, the school district, and the same football district as his son, and his son had already graduated from high school. I thought it was the weirdest shit ever, bro. And I still think it's weird to this day because, like, he has no investment in that kid's career, right? Like, he's literally just harassing a kid for harassing a kid, talking about, like, dedication to the game and bullshit like that, man. As soon as the coaches show the same level of dedication to him, maybe he, because the second that it stops being convenient for them, they're going to get rid of him. That's just how it is, man. Like, I thought it was weird. And I didn't hop into it or anything like that because it was already some parents that was in there, defending the kid and stuff like that. And I was like, man, they don't need me to pile on that kind of stuff like that. But I remember that, and I like keep it in the back of my mind all the time because it's just a reminder. Like this guy, he literally had no investment whatsoever. He didn't go to the school that the young man was committed to beforehand, and he didn't go to the school that he recommitted to. But he like made multiple comments about like his lack of loyalty as a person, and I'm like, he's 18, you fuckhead. Yeah, man, and that's like a person who raised multiple children. He has like 3 kids. Anyway, his son was like 6'6" and a wide receiver. It's pretty cool. Did not. He went to the University of Miami, Ohio, and he's you can find him on Twitter. 5-star senior Malik Renau. Oh, he's a senior. Tuesday said that he decommitted from Florida and plans to reopen his recruitment. Running out of time there, kid. He committed to the Gators in September, choosing them over the Final Four, which included Memphis, Miami, and Florida State. At the time, he was Florida's and Coach Mike White's highest-ranked recruit since 2019, which is wild to think about Florida not having that many high-level recruits like that. But White left earlier this month for a head coaching vacancy, which makes sense, at Georgia because Tom Crean got fired, if you guys remember. Why is this so loud? It's like way louder than it should be in my headset. I'm talking about the lo-fi. I'm sure it's like not loud for you guys, but for some reason it's loud as shit for me. This happens like one every like 5 songs or something. That's so weird. Anyway, back to what we're doing. So yeah, Tom Crean got fired, and Mike White is going to Georgia to take that spot in the SEC. And the Gators ultimately hired San Francisco University, who played in the tournament just like 2 days ago, Todd Golden, who officially arrived in Gainesville this week. First and foremost, I want to thank the community of Gator Nation for all the love and support they have given me. Renault tweeted, told 1-0-3, which I've seen on Twitter multiple times. I guess they're blowing up now. They're getting pretty sensitive information. With everything that has transpired at the University of Florida, I have decided to reopen my recruitment. A 6'8" front court prospect out Mount Verde is one of the prospect schools, one of the big time prospect schools in general, and ranked number 21 in ESPN in the ESPN 100. That's pretty good for the 2022 class. Is the number 5 center. How you gonna play center at 6'8"? Whatever, dog. Hopefully he got a jump shot. Renault enjoyed a breakout summer playing at Knight Idris Elite Grassroots program at the Nike EYBL, which is the premier circuit for club basketball. I say AAU, but like Nike EYBL is where dudes go to get scouted by like high-end programs like Florida. They go to camps and stuff like that. They get a bunch of exclusive gear from Nike for EYBL stuff, and they actually got called out last season because they gave the girls like a fourth of the stuff that they gave the dudes, and the girls got like stuff that wasn't even EYBL for the circuit, and the guys get like a ton of gear that's like high-end EYBL stuff. Anyway, he went with his high school for this. Oh, this must be one of those high school invitational tournaments before the season starts. So yeah, this guy's one of the dudes in the circuit. He's in the program. He's in the circuit. A lot of eyes on him at all times. Highly recruited, and apparently Florida still has ESPN 100 center Jalen Reed and 4-star guard, what is this, Denzel Aberdeen? Aberdeen, man. That's an old school fancy name right there, Aberdeen. Anyway. Let's see. SMU fired their head coach. I saw this on Twitter. I don't know if this is like a big deal for people or not. But after 39 seasons in college coaching, SMU's Tim Jankovich has announced his retirement for the university Tuesday. Jankovich, 62, has been at SMU since 2012, spending his first 4 years as the associate head coach. That's pretty good. That's a good run. He has spent 39 years coaching college for basketball. That's a good run. He's coached at Illinois State, the Firebirds. That's a big-time Quidditch team, Quidditch college program. And then University of North Texas, which is in Denton, Texas, by Dallas. He says, it's been an honor and privilege to have coached at SMU for the past 10 years, Jankovich said. Basketball has been the center of my life since 8th grade, including 39 years in college coaching. I have loved and cherished every minute of it, but with those incredible memories has come tremendous sacrifice. And this is the dark stuff about coaching, kids. I find myself at a stage in life where I no longer can, in good conscience, make the necessary sacrifices that this position demands. I feel a strong pull to spend more time with the people who I have unfortunately neglected over the years: my dad, my family, and my friends. This is why I've decided to step down and retire from my position as head basketball coach. We have loved our time here at SMU and will cherish our memories forever. The Mustangs were one of the final teams left out of the NCAA tournament. Would have been a good final run, just wasn't in the cards. Apparently they beat Memphis twice, and they beat U of H. Their season ended. They played in the NIT versus Washington State and lost by 12. That was his last game. That's a tough way to go out, but hell, 125-64. That is one fucking hell of a record, my dude. That's a good run. Not too many people get lucky enough to be able to pull that off. So, yeah, that's a good run. That's a good run right there. As you can tell, the music is annoying the shit out of me. Yeah, no, I'm not going to read this whole thing about his backstory. I just, damn. These are all the schools he coached at in the college ranks. Kansas, Illinois. He worked with Bill Self. Texas, Baylor. God damn, he basically went all over the Big 12. It's so wild because like you can work at all these schools and still never get a shot at being a head coach, right? North Texas, Grant McCaslin is the top target to replace Jankovic at SMU. McCaslin, who has a deep coaching roots in Texas, which of course is an integral for like any form of recruiting whatsoever. You need to have a deep like connection to the state that you're in so that you can recruit high-end guys, especially in Texas. In Texas, there's like NBA players in every single major city. Jameis Winston announcing that he's back with this post right here. It's Twitter stuff. So this is a quote from my NFL Writers and Media Twitter list. Matt Ryan was asked about learning a new system quickly. I've learned some new offenses in my time. In reference to all the head coaching changes. Got the slide in, go in there. That's Chris Collinsworth saying about Al Michaels, who, if you didn't hear, signed with he signed with Amazon. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Vanderbilt got a new logo. It's from Front Office Sports. By the way, if you don't follow Front Office Sports, you're missing out. This is clutch stuff. They post amazing sports business stuff all the time. Great Twitter follow. I don't follow them on Twitter. I just have them on my list. That's weird. Vanderbilt has unveiled a complete rebranding for both the school and all of its athletic program. Vandy designed the look over the past 2 years with a Boston-based firm upstatement. Which, by the way, like the lengths that people go to get stuff like lined up properly is insane. Like the kind of firms that literally are dedicated to like banking on people redesigning their logos and their merch and stuff like that is ridiculous. Like I don't get, like in my brain, I can't process like how much you charge and how often you have to hope that like a major company is rebranding themselves and that you're going to be able to get that rebrand deal to be able to make money off of it. Anyway, that's always been something that's amazed me. Yeah. Let's see. This is from Elliot Shore Parks. Do I have him in the list? I guess we're going to add him real quick. I do not, probably. Probably ask him to come on a podcast. That'd be cool. See how many followers he's got. He's got 91,000 followers. Damn, he's got a shit ton of people following him. The Eagles are at 24 million in cap space per over the cap. Zach Pascal isn't included yet, but his cap hit will be very low. I'd guess around 2 to 3 million. By the way, Zach Pascal is probably we mentioned him on this fucking show like 6 times, guys, because he was one of the few guys that when the Colts were like looking for wide receivers, like Michael Pittman Jr. looked really impressive. He's the number one guy, right? When at some point, of course, you would like for him to take over and make himself definitively the number one by beating out T.Y. Hilton. But the fact of the matter is, like, Michael Pittman Jr. is viewed as the number one wide receiver for the Colts. And then Zach Pascal, who is one of the few guys that consistently was out here cooking for the Colts throughout the course of the season. Yeah. I'm wondering. So I'm guessing Zach signed with, Chiefs free agent DeMarcus Robinson is meeting with the Las Vegas Raiders. I guess that's good for him. It's late in the game. Getting a little late in the game. This is the Bengals, who, by the way, if you've not been paying attention, the Bengals, by the way, if you've not been paying attention, they've signed 3 free agent offensive linemen. They are signing one group of people and one group of people only. They have like 7 free agents, and half of them are offensive linemen. A unique one. Bengals now waiving O-lineman Fred Johnson. Per source, Johnson recently signed his restricted free agent tender, but after signing offensive tackle La'el Collins, the Bengals have decided to waive Johnson, who can be claimed on waivers, so teams and players can and do change minds. There you go. So yeah, La'el Collins is basically locked into his starting role with the amount of money that they're giving him and the fact that they went after him, right? So this guy was a restricted free agent, no longer anymore. That's so weird. This is something Schefter found. Former Brown CEO Joe Banner believes Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed $30 million contract will change the way NFL contracts are done from now on. I would imagine so. By the way, RIP to the legend, RIP to the man, John Clayton. RIP to the man. So Leonard Fournette signed a $21 million deal for 3 years, $21 million. Is there anybody else in football who looks more menacing? Like, the shadow of his helmet always makes his eyes look like that. And I don't think Leonard Fournette wears eye black. Like, it looks like he literally gives himself the Batman eye black where it goes all the way around his eyes. And like he makes a mask out of it. But that's not... in my mind, when I picture Leonard Fournette on the sideline with his helmet off, I don't picture eye black. And I don't think there is. I think that's just the way his helmet is shaped, which I guess, hey, that's important, especially when you're RB. Yeah, anyway, that's so weird. But yeah, apparently, ooh. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys didn't hear the hype, Malik Willis apparently tore it up at his pro day. Tell me you're shocked, right? Who knew? The guy that everybody's been talking about is actually really good at playing football. Not reading that opinion piece. Clemson's men. I wonder what this is about. Clemson's basketball player Nick Honor. Interesting. Clemson starting guard Nick Honor has entered the NCAA transfer portal and plans to play his final college basketball year somewhere else. He's a 4th-year junior. He played 2 seasons for the Clemson Tigers. He will have 1 year of eligibility left as a graduate transfer. Interesting. I wonder why he's transferring. Honor played as a freshman in Fordham. Wow, go from Fordham to Clemson. That's got to be a drastic change in athletic budget. Let's be for real. Yeah. So 2 years at Fordham and then transferred to Clemson. That's pretty good for him personally. Missouri to hire Cleveland State basketball coach Dennis Gates to rebuild Tigers' struggling program. Missouri also has NCAA violations that prevent it from going to the tournament. Right? Here we go. Oh, by the way, the only reason I know Cleveland State is because when I went to college, I went to Valparaiso University. I played for the football team, and Cleveland State was in the Horizon League at the time. Missouri is hiring wildly successful Cleveland State coach Dennis Gates to help rebuild a long floundering. I'm sorry. They meant floundering, but they misspelled it. Rebuild a long floundering program that has churned through 7 head and interim coaches since Norm Stewart prowled the sideline in Columbia. All right. We need to calm it down with the fucking Tiger puns, all right? Chill out. Chill the fuck out. The university's board curators approved Gates' hiring Tuesday. Gates, 42 years old. That's good. That's a good coach age. It's good, nice and ripe took over Cleveland State's program in 2019, and after winning just 11 games in his first season, engineered one of the biggest turnarounds in Division I basketball. The Vikings went 19-8 and made the NCAA tournament last season. Then went 20-11 and lost in the first round of the NIT this season. Gates replaces Kazuno Martin, who was fired after his third losing season in 5 years in Missouri. Have to imagine that the losing is more about the actual program than itself than a reflection of Kazuno or Quanzo Martin. One of the up-and-coming coaches in college basketball. Gates signed a revised contract in May 2021 that paid him $550,000, $500,000, and made him the highest-earning coach in the Horizon League. There we go. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Get your bread. Get that money. You know what I mean? Buy your wife something nice. Buy your people something nice if that's the case. I don't know if you have a wife or not. My bad for assuming. Let's see. What we cooking on, baby? There we go. Gates will be paid much more handsomely by Missouri, though, which, so he went from $550,000 to $21 million. Jesus Christ. This man he wiping his tears with $100 bills now. And wiping his ass with $500 bills. And they don't even make those anymore. Gates is the first significant hire by athletic director Desiree Reed Francois, who arrived in Missouri in August. The pressure is on Reed Francois' move to work out her decision to fire Martin, who was 78-77 with the Tigers, but had helped the basketball program and the athletic department navigate years of social unrest on campus. If you guys remember distinctly, the football team at one point said that they would not play fucking football because of how bad the racism was on campus. There was multiple student protests. There was a situation where it leaked over into the basketball team, all that kind of stuff like that, where they refused to travel and everything. I remember this. But yeah, that's wild. And it was on ESPN and everything. Cause legitimately, I remember waking up Saturday morning being like, I'm gonna watch College Game Day because I need to know if they told them boys hey, look, either y'all go out there and play or we gonna take everybody's scholarship, whatever the dumb answer is or whatever. Because I remember the president basically forced them to play because they make so much money on game day, regardless of how well Missouri actually does. Their fan base is so religious, just like every other SEC fan base, right? Their fan base is so religious, it doesn't even actually. They could go out there and lose by 45, and people are still going to show up next Saturday. And I'm sure they have done that in the last 2 years or the last couple of years. Navigate years of social unrest on campus was met with almost universal scorn from those within the close, tight-knit college basketball coaching fraternity, which, hey, guess what? If there was ever a red flag in all of sports, with almost universal scorn for those within the close-knit college basketball coaching fraternity. They shouldn't be too mad because they know if he's in the frat, baby, he gonna get a new job in no time. It may pay more and be less stressful than the last one. Missouri has not won an NCAA tournament game since 2010. The unsuccessful stretch in part cost not only Martin, but also Frank Haith and Kim Anderson their jobs. The Tigers have never made it to the Final Four, which, hey, guess what? If you want to make it to the Final Four, you got to put Final Four money in. And I've never seen a Missouri team that's put Final Four money in that didn't get caught by the NCAA. Maybe it'll be easier now because they can set up maybe it will be easier now. There are probably fewer snitches out there, and the threshold for getting in trouble with the NCAA is significantly higher than it was beforehand. So maybe they can get away with it this time because remember they had whole violations and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway, Gates grew up in Chicago, which is a good basketball background. Was a 3-time captain for California before embarking on his coaching career. They mean California like Cal University. First as an intern for the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay, he spent time at Florida State Marquette as a graduate assistant before stints on the bench at California, Northern Illinois, Nevada, and alongside Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. He helped to recruit lottery pick Jonathan No comment. Jonathan Isaac and stars such as MJ Walker and Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann is a killer, bro. Which, by the way, if he's responsible for Terrence Mann ending up on the LA Clippers, bro, sign, like, I mean, give him $42 million. Terrence Mann is a beast, bro. Back it up. Oh, look at that. Ranking all-time starting rosters. The man himself. Can you imagine going to a college basketball game and being like, I'm witnessing one of the greatest basketball players of all time? Or the greatest basketball player of all time? Top 25 players in the Sweet 16. I want to see who the top 10 are. I'm going to click on this. Women's NCAA Tournament 2022. The Sweet 16 of the 2020 women's basketball tournament is upon us, and the surprise of many are some of the biggest names in the game won't be a part of it. Yeah, if you didn't see, somehow all 4 of the 1 seeds made it, but like not all of the 2 seeds made it to the NCAA tournament. So here we go. Presumptive top to 2022 draft picks. Nylissa Smith of Baylor, they lost to like South Dakota State or something. And Ryan Howard of the Kentucky Wildcats concluded their college careers when both were knocked out in the first 2 rounds. All-American Caitlin Clark, who, god damn it, is Caitlin from Houston? Also bowed out from, one of these young ladies is from Houston. She's not. She's from West Des Moines, Iowa. Is she related to, damn, I think she has a famous sister in the WNBA. There we go. Nylissa Smith is from Houston. She's from Converse, Texas, which is right around San Antonio. Shout out to her. Ryan Howard, where is she from? Cleveland, Tennessee. Damn, that's the same place that no, it's Cleveland, Ohio. I was thinking of Darian Ardawan, or there's a guy that I did a TikTok on that plays offensive line for Kentucky, and he was from Cleveland, but it was Cleveland, Ohio, because he's from Youngstown, Ohio, or whatever. Also bowed out a tournament when Creighton Blue Jays took down the Iowa Hawkeyes in the round of 32. Clark, Smith, and Howard were 3 of the top 5 players in our top 25 rankings released before the NCAA tip-off. With the field now at 16, ESPN's Claire Cream, Alexa, Flippapoo, and Michelle Vopel revisit which players deserve the spot on the list based on the way they played through the first 2 rounds, which I think 2 games is not a great way to determine legitimate draft prospects. There are some additions, including from Creighton and the South Dakota Coyotes. South Dakota is the team that beat Baylor, who both upset 2 seed Sunday. Clark, number 2 on our last ranking. Smith was number 3. Howard was number 5. Ole Miss's Shakira Austin. I remember this story. I remember this from Burn It All Down. Shout out to them. Shakira Austin intentionally went to Ole Miss to rebuild the program there. Like, that was her whole goal. She's from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I follow her on my burner account for athletes in sports. So, yeah, she went to Ole Miss on purpose to rebuild the program because they've been one of the teams that has been in the SEC for a long time and has not seen consistent success. They've had moments where they really popped off, but like for the most part, they're not like super duper amazing or whatever. Shakira Austin's number 7. Virginia Tech's Elizabeth Kittle. Kitley. There you go. Number 11, DePaul's Anisha Morrow. Number 17 on the list. And then Florida Gulf Coast got a WNBA player, Kirsten Bell. Same name as the superstar. Doubt the Alliance, Ohio. Some of these places. I like the hair, though. I do like the hair. I like the hair. That's fly. Not a lot of people got the balls. Not a lot of people got the balls to go for the green hair. Has since been eliminated from the tournament and thus opened up spots for new players in our rankings. It's interesting. Sorry, checking the chat to see if anybody hopped in live and wrote some answers. Anyway, moving on with my life. That's the schedule for the tournament. So Aaliyah Boston, who's the number 1 player for South Carolina, who's the number 1 team in the country right now, and Boston hasn't put up crazy numbers so far in this tournament. It's the first 2 rounds of the tournament. So, but she's still the best player in the field until proven otherwise. Even when she had a poor shooting night against Miami, Damn, she went 4 for 15. Damn. How good you got to be to get 15 shots? You know what I mean? Just like in a game in general. Let's click on Aaliyah and see where she's from. This is how I find out like people are from. She's from the Virgin Islands. Shout out to her. She got some stories written about her or what? Top 25 players. She's right there. 3-peat first team All-American. Aggressive lead. Boston. Oh, yeah. They got a lot of video of her just balling out of control. Somehow she's one of the few people that can keep knee pads on her knees. Which if you've ever played sports or if you're like me, you got those thick thighs, they do not stay up there. I got to get the right size. I think that's what my problem is. Moving on. Damn, she averaged a double-double and was shooting 50% from the field. Or still shoots 50% from the field because she's still in the game. So, yeah, there we go. Aaliyah Boston, projected number 1. Haley Jones, I follow her on TikTok. She's really good. She plays for the Stanford Cardinal, who are trying to go for their back-to-back in this season, and she's trying to finish off. And good to know that she's still ranked really highly. She's played for a long time and gotten better over time, which is dope. Diamond Miller, Maryland Terrapins out here. Welcome to the rankings. The top 3 spot, no less. It's a well-deserved for the guard who averaged 23.5 points, 7 rebounds. Oh, damn. So, yeah, she's blowing up right now. Ashley Jones from the Iowa State Cyclones. Ashley does look like she plays for Iowa State. No offense. In the first round, she had 36 points and 15 rebounds. That's domination. Nats Hamilton, Michigan Wolverines. Damn, all of them like blew up in the first round of the play or first round of the tournament. 11 rebounds is crazy. Brink had a double-double in every round of the playoffs so far, or each round of the NCAA tournament so far. Angel Reese, I know her. Her hair is not black anymore. It is like bright pink with like braids or whatever. I've been seeing her on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. So yeah, that's not her. That's not how her hair look. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not gonna keep scrolling through here. Paige Buckner, she is not leaving, but she's not leaving this year. But she is 12th on this list. She missed a good chunk of the season because of a knee surgery she had to get, but she'll be all right. South Dakota State Coyotes. Chloe Lamb. Shout out to her. Shout out to Chloe and the squad. Going out there and getting that upset. Moving on. Miami point guard Charlie Morris, 6-year, 4-school odyssey takes him back home to Chicago. Oh, God. All right, we're going to read this one. This sounds fucking absurd. But before we do that, we're going to take a hydration break. We'll take a hydration break, and we'll come back and we'll read this story about a kid who's played for 4 schools to get to the Sweet 16. When we come back right here on the Broke Boys Sports Podcast. All right, I'm back. Don't worry. I would never abandon you for nothing, for no reason, ever. Let's see. Let's see what we're doing. Let's see. Delicioso. What you guys got to do today? Because honestly, I gotta go to work right after this. Alright, like I promised, we're gonna read this wild ass story about this guy who went to 4 different schools. And apparently is going home. There were 19 seconds left Sunday. There were 19 seconds left Sunday night when Miami coach Jim Larrañaga summoned point guard Charlie Moore to the Hurricanes bench. A massive smile on Larrañaga's face. He extended his long arms and embraced the 6-year seniors. Oh, snap. What is ESPN? Yeah, it's ESPN. Hold on.
I think we should see other people.
You know what? If you could just let your hair down a little.
All right, back to what we were doing. He extended his long arms and embraced his 6-year senior in a massive hug. They pulled away from each other and then embraced again. Moore's job was done for the night. He posted 15 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. But his career wasn't done. Moments later, when the Hurricanes 79-61 upset a second seed Auburn was complete, Moore looked at the small section of traveling Hurricanes fans and pointed to them. Then he saw Larrañaga. They hugged again. After all, Moore had been through his father's stroke, transfer after transfer, leading to stops in 4 schools, and even flirtation with a professional career. He'd reached this stage. What might be the final part of his cross-country journey through college basketball will bring Moore right back to where he started, back to sweet home Chicago in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Played before friends and family. I mean, it's a dream come true, Moore told ESPN moments after Miami's win. You know, just excited to be here with my team. This is a moment I'm going to treasure forever for the rest of my life. After all, I've been through different schools, coaches leaving, my dad, I've been through a lot. So it's a special moment. And there's a photo of him right there. That's cool. Moore's college journey. Oh, man. I should probably read this in the frame where I'm supposed to be reading it, not in the stupid hydration break one. Anyway, so yeah, reading this story about a young man named Charlie Moore from the University of Miami for the NCAA tournament. He plays for them, and they got 2 big upsets. They upset USC in the first round, and then they beat Auburn, who at one point was the number 1 team in the country. In the second round, they've advanced on to the Sweet 16, which apparently is taking place in Chicago, where Charlie Moore, the guy we're reading about, is from. Moore's college journey began after he was named Illinois' Mr. Basketball out of Morgan Park High School on Chicago's South Side in 2016. He switched his commitment from Memphis to Cal after Josh Pastner left for Georgia Tech, a small taste of what would come in Moore's nomadic career. The reasons his path would ultimately lead him from Cal to Kansas to DePaul and then to Miami involved decisions made by others and serious family health situations. Cal to Kansas was a recruit to coach Kazuno Martin, who, by the way, we just talked about getting fired from Missouri. From the Bears, Kansas to DePaul brought Moore back home, closer to his father, Curtis, who had suffered a stroke in 2015. Going from school to school, also with my dad going through his situation, that was tough for me, Moore said. I always wanted to get close to him, help him and my mom out. Stuff they were going through, if they were going through something, I'm going through it. Moore knows it might look like he was jumping from situation to situation for basketball reasons, but the 24-year-old says that wasn't the case. Staying would have been easy. He says he didn't necessarily want to leave any other schools he played for. Last March, his coach at DePaul, David Leitao. We're moving on with our lives. We're just gonna keep plowing through that one. Learn that one from David Leitao at DePaul got fired. Moore considered turning pro. It just didn't sit right with me. Curtis's health was improving, and that allowed Moore to consider one more college stop. Meanwhile, in Coral Gables, Miami player Chris Likes told Larrañaga he was turning pro and hiring an agent. Likes later decided to transfer to Arkansas instead. Ooh, spicy. Leaving the Hurricanes without a point guard. Soon after, Miami assistant Bill Courtney, who had coached at DePaul, told Larrañaga that Moore was in the transfer portal. Larrañaga remembered Moore from high school recruiting events and texted him. Moore was interested. COVID forced a Zoom recruitment with Moore and his family. Moore talked with Curtis, who knew his son wanted to end his career in the tournament after a couple of years of struggling at DePaul, and offered his blessing for another move across the country. Moore says Curtis made stuff make sense. Moore chose Miami, and one of the college basketball's wildest journeys continued in South Florida. On a team looking to reach the NCAA tournament following a 10-17 campaign last season, Larrañaga needed the players to believe in Moore, and Moore to believe in them. Larrañaga was asked a lot of his point guard. He has asked him to score, distribute, and become one of the league's best defenders and team leaders. Moore has done that, averaging 12.7 points and 4.4 points in leading the Canes. Wait, they were both points. I'm assuming that's supposed to be assists. In leading the Canes back to the tournament for the first time since 2018. Since getting there, he has led them in wins against USC and Auburn, games that have been gratifying for players and coaches. It's pure joy, Larrañaga said. We can't do it without Charlie. All these guys that experienced it, they needed to welcome in somebody who was willing to take on that role. That's not an easy role. It's not. Neither has a journey that has taken more from the Pac-12 to the Big 12 to the Big East to the ACC. Even with the explosion of the transfer portal, a player with 4 high major stops over 6 seasons is still a rarity in college basketball, which is a fucking fact. That's a lot of like paying for transfer papers and shit like that, man. That's crazy. At this long road trip somehow leads back to Chicago, to the United Center for what could be the final stop. Miami is favored against Iowa State in the Sweet 16 game on Friday, but will not be the popular pick to come out of the Midwest region. That includes the number 1 seed Kansas and 4 seed Providence. If all goes well, Moore will get to play 2 games before the hometown fans. He'll potentially get to see his former Kansas team again in the Elite 8, another full circle type moment. Moore says Curtis, whom he credits with making him the player he is now, might be in attendance this week for those games. He used to come to all my games before the situation happened, Moore said. So just to have him here is going to be a special moment for me. One that might even make all the moves, all the transfers, the circuitous journey to the closing moments of Moore's college career worth it. Now I am way too invested in the University of Miami winning this game in the Sweet 16. So yeah, no. Way too invested. Charlie Moore. Story of Charlie Moore transferring from 6 different schools. And I'm assuming there's a bunch of shit they had to cut out. Because if you transfer to 6 different schools, there's got to be something that went horribly wrong at some point or another. So, anyway. We having a good time. I think that's enough for March Madness shit. What else is on the list? NBA stats. By the way, welcome to Study Hall if you're just joining. At some point in the near future, this is a whole podcast dedicated to us studying for the podcast. Yeah, I'm super meta, bro. Super meta. We are trying to study up and get ready for an excellent show on Friday. That's basically the whole point of this. So we have a list of to-do things here. And I will take the time now to switch over to looking at NBA stats. And really what I wanted to do in this situation was to click on the NBA and look at who's having like a career year so far. This is funny. I don't get how this is even a headline. This is so stupid. The Clippers are clearly having a much better season than the Lakers overall, and the Clippers are doing it without both of their superstars. That's the ridiculous part. So Shout out to BB Smooth online right now. Always clutch. Travis Ward. Good guy. Good guy. Sometimes. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to start talking about the play-in tournament again. I guess we should read this article. As the NBA's 2021-2022 regular season draws to a conclusion on April 10th, which is less than a month away, teams near the middle of the standings are battling for postseason seeding with a special focus on the league's play-in tournament. Held before the first round of the 2020 NBA playoffs, the play-in tournament adds an exciting wrinkle to the end of the regular season. Teams were already less incentivized to tank games down the stretch because of the flattened lottery odds instituted in 2019. Now that the top 10 teams in the standings will finish in the regular season with at least a chance to make the playoffs, more franchises will stay in the mix longer, which is true. We saw the situation where Sabonis was traded away from the Pacers to the Kings for seemingly an attempt to play themselves for the Kings to play themselves into the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament will be held April 12th through the 15th, which is 2 days after the season comes to an end. Here's everything you need to know about it. How does the NBA play-in tournament work? There will be 6 total games involving 8 teams as part of the play-in tournament, split up between the 2 conferences. The team that finishes number 1 through 6 in each conference will be guaranteed playoff spots, while 7 through 10 in the standings will enter the play-in. Any team that finishes worse than number 10 will be in the lottery. So if you don't make the team, so if you're one of the Rockets are going to be a lottery pick. As a matter of fact, the Rockets have the going odds to be the number 1 pick overall in the upcoming draft. They have the worst record in the NBA. So I know. So yeah, here we go with the super complicated way they explain it. It kind of makes sense if you think about it for like a couple of minutes, but it does sound convoluted and complex when you say it out loud. The number 7 team in the standings by winning percentage will host the number 8 team, with the winner earning the number 7 seed in the playoffs. The losing team gets another chance in Game 3. So basically, they're playing for, like, they're doing the whole, like, there's a stick. You put your hand here, I put my hand here. Whoever finishes on top gets the stick, and the stick is the number 7 seed in the playoffs, the actual number 7 seed. So technically, if you're the number 7 seed, the only advantage that you have, is that you have to play, that you get to play another game, right? Because the number 8 team has to win 2 in a row, number 7 team has to win 2 in a row to be able to win. The number 9 team will host the number 10 team, the winner moving on to Game 3. The loser will be eliminated and enters the NBA draft lottery. So, yeah, how do I explain this? So it's like a miniature tournament, right? Except there's a double elimination at the top. And you go to it, so like 7 and 8 will play each other. Loser of 7 and 8 drops to the loser's half of the bracket, right? No, whoever wins out of 7 and 8 advances on to play for the top number 7 seed. 9 and 10 will play each other. That's do or die. Whoever wins out of that advances on. The loser drops off. So the number 10 team will host the number 9 team will host the number 10 team, like we mentioned before. The winner is moving on to Game 3. The loser is eliminated. So the winner of 7-8 will face off against the winner of 9-10. The loser of the 7-8 versus 9-10 matchup will host the winner of the 9-10. Will host the winner of the 9-10 matchup, with the victor grabbing the number 8 seed in the postseason. The loser of Game 3 also enters the lottery. Does that make sense to everyone? This means that the team with the 7th highest and 8th highest winning percentage will have 2 opportunities to win 1 game to earn a playoff spot, while the teams with the 9th highest and the 10th highest will earn winning percentages. So if you lose, you're eliminated. If you win, you earn your automatic spot into the playoffs. What's next after the play-in? Once the play-in winners, number 7 seeded and number 8 seeded for each conference, they advance on to the NBA playoffs and they play like normal. So, except they'll play like normal after having played an extra game of NBA basketball, which is exhausting. So, yeah. Other stuff. I wanted to go to stats. Season leaders, NBA BPI. You know what? Fuck it. Top scores this season should not be a surprise. LeBron James, who has a good chance of actually missing the playoffs, but also winning the scoring title because, that's how life works sometimes. What was it? The other day, somebody was talking about, where is he? Where is he on here? Why is he not in the top 10? Kevin Durant's not eligible for the scoring title because he missed too many games. So, yeah, LeBron James is averaging 30 a game, which is crazy to think about. Averaging 30 a game and then also shooting like crazy high percentages. I think he's shooting like 50-something% or some shit like that. Anyway, Control F. James. Yeah, he's 20th in the league shooting 52%. Crazy. He's shooting a coin flip, like overall on this season. 3-pointers, no, my bad. 3-pointers made on average. Steph Curry at the top of that list. Fred VanVleet, underrated second there. Donovan Mitchell, as usual, killing it from range. Buddy Hield. Turns out the 3-point threat that the Lakers wanted was the guy that they wanted originally, but they didn't have the gumption to trade for. Dame Lillard still doing his thing, as always. Also completely off the board in terms of legitimately being a part of this list because he's only played 29 games. Don't forget that, people. But yeah, 3-pointers made. That's cool. Lonzo Ball also hurt. Anthony Simmons, a guy who is snuck up on a couple of people. He had like a whole month where he was killing it, and he's still out there doing his thing. 3-pointers attempted. Steph Curry also first in that category. For Fred VanVleet, it's basically the same order, which is cool because it means that they're making more shots, the same amount of shots that they're attempting. 3-pointers percentage. Luke Kennard, shout out to Luke Kennard, always holding it down for the white guys. And one of the key members of the Phoenix Suns last season, besides Mikal Bridges, that a lot of people didn't really talk about, Cameron Johnson. 3-point range, 3-point threat at all times, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. Dougie McBucket still getting buckets, despite the fact that, shooting super high percentages, but attempts a little low, if you will. Top rebounder in the league. I'm literally just going through the stats and looking at who's at the top of each one of these categories to keep it in my brain, keep it fresh in my brain in terms of people. Not surprised. The reigning defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Nikola Jokic, not surprised at all. One of the best centers, actually the best center in the NBA as of right now. Domantas Sabonis, once again, not surprised at all. Sabonis traded to Sacramento, still averaging double-digit rebounds. Clint Capella, still doing his thing. One of the greatest mistakes the Rockets ever made, but getting rid of Clint Capella, so still sucks ass that he's no longer with us in the cool way, like playing for the team, not the sad way. Sorry, I cropped it properly this time. Yeah. What else are we looking at here? Joel Embiid's still pretty high on this list as well. Block Masters. Who's throwing the block party? Jaren Jackson Jr., a guy who tore his ACL 2 years ago and seems to have recovered fully. Like most people say you do, you don't recover until 2 years later. Rudy Gobert, Robert Williams, who, by the way, underrated. I remember mentioning him 2 years ago on the podcast a bunch as an underrated Celtics player that people should be paying attention to. And now he's developed into the lead center for the Celtics and been doing a really good job. I know he's not necessarily the biggest scoring threat on the face of the planet, but he's still pretty impressive with what he does. What he does on the field, almost averaging a double-double. For a young guy, that's really good. They call him Time Lord, and I don't necessarily know why. So, yeah. Mitchell Robinson for the Knicks. Body him. Jacob Podol got dunked on, but very famously dunked on a couple of weeks ago, but nonetheless still cooking at the center position. Speaking of famous dunks, Kevin Love, RIP to him, rest in peace, murdered last night by LeBron James on national television. Damn shame. Don't forget, in that matchup between the Lakers and the Cavaliers were the significantly better team, ladies and gentlemen. What a time to be alive. Mo Bamba, who, we're looking at block standings here, so, take it for what it is, but haven't heard much from Mo Bamba since he got drafted out of Texas, man. And I get he's playing for He's played for Orlando, who is consistently just trying to stockpile talent on a regular basis, but you know what I mean. Hassan Whiteside, as usual, a force in the paint. Name a more plug-and-play center in the NBA right now than Hassan Whiteside. You cannot. Daniel Gafford, heavily underrated dude from Washington, played really well last year, emerged as a starting center. PER, which is a player efficiency rating, 15 is the line of demarcation. That's a good player. And as you can tell, 15 is like not even good enough to get you in the top 50 for this category. But number one, zero surprise here. The guy who does everything, scores, rebounds, assists the ball, leads the break, is also a big part of point guarding from inside the paint somehow. Pure devil magic. Nikola Jokic, everyone, the Joker. Number one in PER so far this season. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who very quietly has scored 50 points multiple times this season, mainly because he's got 4 moves and people can only really stop 2 of them. And that's if they're lucky most of the time. And he's also developing a jump shot. Who would have thought? Joel Embiid, LeBron James, literally 0% surprise. Rudy Gobert, who is one of the one of the most statistically friendly centers ever in the history of the NBA. Trae Young, as usual, cooking. Always doing his thing, man. He averages 27 points per game. And, also really high in terms of just overall attempts, but we'll talk about that later. Somebody got to take those shots. That's all I'm saying. Somebody got to take those shots. And it sure as hell ain't going to be, anybody else. Literally anybody else on the Hawks. So we're coming up on 2 hours here on the show. I feel like we did some NFL free agency. We read an article. We should check, to finish up the show, we should check the Twitter list and see what funny shit we can find in there. Yeah, so let me see if this is going to actually work. I told my friend I was going to try this on my show. So if you don't know, I have Twitter lists for like every single thing that goes down, or all the major leagues. I have an NBA one, so you can see it here. I have one called Black Excellence, where it's just like really successful black people, sports and non-sports most of the time, and people who are, inspire me to be successful and work hard. NBA media players. So I put the media and players in the same one. That's probably a poor idea on my part. But the NBA teams one is literally just the NBA teams and their Twitter PR accounts. I put the PR accounts for each of the Twitter teams in there. Twitter, whatever, in there. NFL draft people, which is filled with NFL draft people like scouts and people who want to be scouts and people who write about the draft consistently year round and all that kind of jazz like that. Why is Zach Wilson trending? Let's do that game. Why is Zach Wilson trending? Is somebody talking shit about him? Let's see. It's a video of Zach Wilson throwing the ball. All right, that's cool, I guess. Dude, it must be so nice to play in New York. You can trend for like literally not even doing anything. Anyway, we're gonna go into the NBA teams one and see what we can come up in terms of like team promos that are pretty funny. That's Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. He said, I feel like there's a lot of things that I can do on the court. I feel like that's what makes me a good player and somebody who could win Rookie of the Year. That's pretty confident. So looks like, here we go. This is our first one. Jockey pregame brief. Giannis is, this is just like a little info video. As a matter of fact, it's time to cut the music since we're almost done here. It's been blaring in my ears the entire time. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is a sponsored one. Jockey, this company, providing innovative, high-quality products that give you comfort and confidence to be the real you. Is this like the underwear company, Jockey? And they just don't want to say that we're an underwear company? The Bucks are seeking their 45th win this season versus the Bulls, and math says that because the Bucks have a winning record, the Bulls will lose. The Bulls love to dominate. Anyway, that's Jordan Poole, right? Yeah, that's Jordan Poole rocking the Michigan jersey. He's one of the few guys left in the NCAA tournament. He's also a big part of the Michigan team that made the big run, was it last year, 2 years ago? That's the Grizzlies working out. Should probably retweet that. That's an injury tweet. Holy shit, what is going on here? When we got there, I remember Boston thinking that they were gonna walk right over us, and it wasn't gonna be that kind of party. From the memorable postseason run to his infamous helicopter arrival, World Be Free has no shortage of stories fit for his place on our wall of honor. I'm gonna like that for later. The fella's really sharing the rock. That's stupid. This is like, once again, like, it's all this corny team stuff, right? Like, what mood are you in? It's just like photos of the players and shit, right? Of like Jeremy Grant and everything. Giveaway ends tonight. Here we go. Subscribe to our YouTube and be entered to win a signed Jordan Clarkson jersey. Actually, that's pretty lit. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna do that. Also, I need to subscribe to all the NBA teams. I'm subscribed to every NFL team, and I just don't see their shit in my feed. Let's see. Is there a link on here? Nope, it's not. This is so stupid. Why would the first thing that comes up is, of course, Utah Jazz highlights, because the NBA dominates. Here we go. Here's the Utah Jazz Instagram account. I mean, YouTube account. They got a lot of subscribers. Canceling that. So no copyright strikes for your boy over here. Giannis is averaging. Yeah. We know that. We saw. That's a league pass ad. That's whack. Rising player. Oh yeah. The hustle machine. Io. 6 weeks after being traded to Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield are flourishing in Indiana. Tomorrow, they'll face off against their former team for the first time, the Sacramento Kings. Working on WNBA Prospect Project will release soon. During that, I found Northwestern University's Veronica Burton's insane stats. Draws 7 fouls per game and has a 39%. Yeah, that's crazy. What is it? Now's your chance. Nominate Youth Basketball Organization for the 2022 U.S. Junior Program of the Year, powered by Under Armour, and show us how you support youth athletes, both on and off the court. Weekends you'll never remember with friends you'll never forget. This is the Spurs Coyote. Spaces alert. That's a Spaces alert. Looks like they're gonna have. Oh, that's gonna be cool. Oh, that's Jasmine Baker. She's dope. Follow her, please. She's been on this show, and I had her on the show, and then I fucked her interview up because I didn't know how to use NDI like I do now, and I didn't know how to reset it as well, so it fucked up the audio big time. She's really cool. She makes a lot of really cool merch as well. Let me retweet that. Support. You gotta support, dog. Chris Middleton is out tonight. Oh, the Bulls got a chance. Amazing to see what happens with Pistons 3-1-3 day. 313 is like one of the area codes that like rolls off the tongue very easily. We partnered with Consumer Energy to create care packages that were donated to local organizations that support women in Detroit. Shout out to the Pistons, man. They may be sucking ass on the court, but they out here trying to help the community. Trae Young had one of the biggest moments of his career thus far during the postseason at MSG. Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks visit the Knicks tonight. Oh man, they about to get violent in there. Oh, here we go. Here's one of them. Here's one of the like promo ads. Here we go. We're excited to partner with @Hennessy to announce the 75 moves that start movements. With the NBA's 75th anniversary, we'll award hundreds of minority-owned businesses with relief through the Unfinished Business Program, and you can apply today. Shout out to the Nuggets. By the way, you have to be like in Denver most of the time. Is that my water bottle? Yeah, it is. I felt that on my leg, and I still kept moving my leg forward. Basketball Reference, great Twitter follow, by the way. Let's see. Having averaged nearly 40 points per game in her senior season at Montclair State University, Carol Blazejowski is one of the greatest scorers in the history of women's basketball. Shout out to her. What is this? Is this a highlight? This better not be a highlight. Yes, it's a stupid video. Looks like it's that's not Jaren Jackson. That's like Devontae Graham. Oh, that's a nice one. It's customized and everything. Look at that. It's a Memphis Grizzly one. I really hope that this whole time we've been doing this, I haven't been blocking the. Yes, I have. I have indeed. Fun. wish there was a way for me to identify the best angle to put this shit on, because it's brutal. It's brutal. It really is, guys. I tried to make the screen as small as possible. Alright, this should be good. Trying to fix the webcam size. There we go. Alright, we should be able to scroll now freely and watch things. Numbers, that's a stupid one. Look at these promos. This is how we're going to finish the show, just scrolling through Twitter. Like the geniuses that we are. Border battle in Milwaukee. Nothing. Promos. Oh, yeah. If you want a podcast to listen to, CJ McCollum was on the Knuckleheads podcast. I also very surprised that Quentin Richardson not in jail yet. Because not to say that like he's a criminal, but like he was caught up in that thing with the defrauding the NBA pension plan. Like, you can look it up, but they were like talking about people going to jail and shit. So I don't know. In the 4th episode of The Path, this is with Royce Young, so I'm going to retweet it just out of respect for Royce Young's work. The team take you through the comeback mentality. They've been trying to come back for like 50 years. All right, we're going to scroll past that. Oh, he won the free throw competition at practice today. That's why he gets the cool belt. That is Zaire Williams. That's the other Zaire Williams, right? That's not the, it's Zion Wade. Or is it Zaire Wade? They both went to Sierra Canyon, right? Like, that was the whole deal. I think they both went to Sierra Canyon together. Like, D Wade's son that's in the G League, and then this kid was like a 5-star who went to Sierra Canyon. I used to get him confused all the time when I would look up like high school research and shit. Be the change you want to see in the world. The Pierce twins literally making history to ensure Illinois schools have diversity in their reading curriculum, which is very, very important. Shout out to them. When United learned their story, they wanted to support their mission. So hold on, we're gonna retweet this. They're black women who are making big waves and big changes. They're 14-year-old identical twins, and they've already done more to help the world than I ever could have. Shout out to them. Looks like Luca. Wow, they put all of the accent marks on Luca's name. They must have that copied and pasted. Whoever tweeted this out has that copied somewhere and saved. Because what are the comments on this? Anyway, Luka Doncic's right ankle soreness, Davis Bertans, right knee soreness, Tim Hardaway Jr., left foot surgery, Theo Pinson, right fifth finger fracture, will all miss tomorrow night's game. That looks like those are all bone damages. So I would imagine, yeah, they were going to miss the game. Let's see. This opportunity is not basketball. This opportunity is about a legacy that started with a young girl and her father, Coach Anisha Curry. Another Curry. Did she pass away? That's terrible. Oh, man. This is her right here. My bad. She's an assistant coach. Hold on. Got to add her to this window right here. Got to put her in the Black Excellence one. There it is, right above it. There we go. Don't worry, guys. This terrible podcast is almost over. Don't worry. It's James Harden. I thought he was wearing all white. He's just got shorts on. Cali bound, bro. West Coast. Oh, here we go. Play guard the globe with the Raptors out. For every play, we'll plant a tree and you'll have a chance to win big prizes. See, like, that's crazy, right? That's wild. For every play, they're gonna plant a tree. Guys, I think we could save the world with this fucking app. I might hold on. Let me favorite that. I might go play just to plant a tree, guys, just out of respect. Oh, apparently, the Pacers are doing the thing too. The unfinished business thing with Hennessy. I did not know Hennessy was working with multiple NBA teams. Whoa, NBA 2K posted something stupid. about the game malfunction. I haven't played 2K in a year and a half. I should probably get back into it. Recap the legacy of the 75th team. No thanks. Episode 4, Sushi Bros, Kev Knows and Kelly O. Anyway, let me save that. Oh wow, dude, are they doing something for Cherry Blossom Night? That'd be so sick. The launch of the new Bloom City NFT collection, special in-game programming and performances, Cherry Blossom Shooting Star. Oh, that's gonna be sick. Hopefully they're gonna sell these. Are there pictures of the warm-ups? If you guys don't know, that's Rui Hachimura. He is a black man who was born in Japan, so he is Japanese, and he actually sells kimonos. The NFTs you can buy here, I don't give a shit about that. I want the actual clothes. Purchase tickets. Team Wizard fans, yeah. So Rui Hachimura is trying to bridge the gap. This is presented by Rakuten, which is huge. Damn, I want to see a photo of those fucking shooting shirts. Remind me, guys. Remind me on the internet, like later on. Yeah, make sure you remind me, and I'll be all right. Anyway, we've been on here for 2 hours. Unlike all the other streamers on this app, I do not have the conditioning that it takes to pull this off. Oh, look, the Pistons and the 76ers are doing this. The Lakers are doing it. A basketball game. Oh, look at that. You can get a free. Oh, no way. Look at that shirt. Look at that. It's a Grateful Dead Denver Nuggets t-shirt. That's sick. There's going to be so many people at that game just for that shirt. Saturday, March 26th, 1 ticket, 1 shirt, and they're playing the Thunder. They're gonna win this game, guys. They're gonna win this game. Oh, that's sick. You know how many white sports journalists are super jealous right now? That's actually a really cool shirt. Like, that's one thing about promo shirts. I wish they would sell them on the internet. But yeah, not going to be in Denver to be able to play about that. Wait, this guy's name is Cat Barber. This is the NBA G League Twitter account, by the way. Cat Barber put up a monster numbers and led the College Park Skyhawks. I was going to say College Park like in Atlanta, and it is the Hawks. By the way, if you've never seen it, you should definitely check out the if you can, check out the G League uniforms. Because they're basically the NBA uniforms, but with like a small minor subdivision of the city listed as the name on the front. Is pretty cool. Like the Spurs, their G League team is in Austin, and it's called the Austin Spurs. And it's just a Spurs uniform that just says Austin across the front on the chest. Also, I guess the whole league's doing this. So the Grizzlies, the Cavs, have not seen the Trailblazers, but the Mavericks are. Like every team in the league has to be doing this. This must be a league-wide sponsorship. Moving on. Yup, LeBron took the lead for the scoring title last night. We are aware of these things. That's Holly Rowe, looking fine as always. Yes, big fan of Holly Rowe. That's all I got. All right, you guys want to check the NFL one real quick, and then we'll leave. I think I'm gonna check the NFL one, and then I'm gonna go to work. Oh, clicked on my personal Twitter account that if you want to follow, you can at FB_playbook. This is how the magic of the Broke Boy Sports podcast comes together to create the show that you like so much. NFL players. Oh, we could look at the NFL players list. That's always kind of funny. Why is there a reporter in here? Sometimes people. Oh wait, no. Lawrence Tynes is the former kicker for the Giants. I don't know. Yeah, he probably would keep the main thing. There you go. They always look like NFL players love to tweet out like cryptic, fake, deep shit. That happens all the time. My guess to why press conferences haven't started yet is Adams may be taking a tour of the facility. And then Kenny King Jr. put that gift from Step Brothers. Shout out Goot and them. D-line gonna be crazy. Couldn't keep Mike Edwards out of the end zone all game. This is TD Tuesday. I'm assuming Mike Edwards retweeted this. He did. Kenny Clark with the smile emoji. Ray Ray on the Bay. Ray Ray McLeod coming to the 49ers. A lot of people pumped about that. Don't know why, but all right. Yo, oh my God. Ray Ray McLeod has the flowiest hair. He's just been hiding it this whole time. Ray Ray got the dopest fro in the game. Hold on. That's crazy. Holy shit. Ray Ray McLeod out here flowing on him. Look at that. That's wild. Shout out Ray Ray McLeod. I need to know the hair routine, my dog. Drop the hair care routine, my man.
All the 49ers fans being, weird like they always do in the comments. Okay, they're being normal, but they are weird to me. This is Caden Stearns. You made 30 look good. If you do change it, you think single digits. Caden Stearns responded with, "Not too sure. I'm looking at 13. My big brother wore it in college, and I wore it in high school in a high school bowl game, and played really good that game. So we'll see." Caden Stearns, who is now a member of, he's from Cibolo, Texas, so we're like invested in him as a football player. No, don't change. Looks like you wanted Detroit. They said 303. 313 is where Detroit is, right? Isaiah Thomas got signed, by the way. Everybody's pumped about that. We always are. Let's be for real. There's one person that the whole world is rooting for. It is Isaiah Thomas, and also he gave us a legitimate reason to fucking hate the Celtics, because they played him. They did him the dirtiest I've ever seen in modern day NBA stuff. 99% of the time, when you deserve your money, the NBA finds a way to get it to you. And there are so many, the NBA finds a way to get it to you, but for some reason, the Celtics, I felt like they lied to Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if he feels that way, but they definitely lied to him. Let's see. The Chiefs are re-signing right tackle Andrew Wiley on a 1-year contract that includes $2.5 million guaranteed per Aaron Wilson. And the response from Richard Sherman, who is breaking in the media and also just really open about what he has to say. "So you're telling me he needed an agent to negotiate this after starting 40-plus games." So one thing to point out about Richard Sherman, he does not need an agent. He negotiates on his own. Jameis Winston has his merch that he's posting, Eat the W. Hold on, I got to save this. I might need it for later. Not going to look at that. That's the tornado video that's been going around. And Richard Sherman, that's what he's doing apparently. That's what he's gonna do. It doesn't even make sense. And when he's asked about it, he either starts fumbling his words or dance around the answer, saying a whole lot of nothing. Hold on. The mayor is bugging now. Oh, here we go. Mayor Eric Adams said the New York's pro sports teams will have to wait their turn to see any loosening of COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Dude, people sit in the stands with no mask on, and the athletes can't play. That makes a lot of sense, which is a good point. Kyrie Irving made a very good point by showing up with no mask on, sitting 10 feet away from where he would normally be sitting on the sideline. We'll point this out. When people show up to the games, where they go afterwards, they just go home. They do not go to a locker room and into a private plane and into a bus to get back home with the rest of their teammates, potentially being able to spread COVID to their teammates. That's all I got on this one. I think we're good. Reggie Ragland. What is it? Will Compton said I've changed. I just wanted you guys to hear it from me. I guess it's that watch. Because he got a Rolex. There's one. Yeah. Anyway, what else we got? Oh, NFL teams. Damn it, I clicked on my own fucking name again. NFL teams. I'm done for real after this. No promo stuff. I was telling my agent, I said we're going to LA. I was telling him that from the beginning. JC Jackson, a brand new episode of Dolphins Today just dropped. Here are new guys. Get a behind the scenes look into the NFL draft process. Interesting. Sold. Probably should follow them on YouTube. Should also probably subscribe to me on YouTube. Let's do it, David Blah. By the way, still unclear about how to pronounce David Blah's name. Is it really Blah or is it Blah or Blah? David Blah? Is it Blah? This isn't a drill. Devontae Adams is in the building. Shout out to him. Writers write about the NFL talent in the draft, which is good. Jahan Dotson. I'm actually gonna do a TikTok about him. Traylon Burks projected to go to the Cardinals. Interesting. Chris Olave. I love how they're doing the wide receivers, and it's just like the wide receivers are going to get picked way later because there are so many good ones. And then, Drake London back at the top. Oh, wait, my bad. Drake London, the second highest projected wide receiver in the mock draft behind Garrett Wilson. Draft day. Want to see us select number 1 overall in Vegas here we go. Score a trip to the Strip with TIAA Bank for the ultimate VIP draft day experience. We may be entering this competition, guys. Houston Texans transactions. Let's see. There's 3 roster moves. I need to save that for later. I don't know what the Arizona Super Bowl, which I guess is happening this upcoming season. It's got JJ Watt doing promo shit for him. NFL throwback to Randy Moss catching sick ass grabs in the fucking end zone, bro. Greatest of all time. Fuel to play 60. Shout out to Austin Eckler, one of the freakiest freak athletes in the game that looks like a regular person. Watch his workout videos and you will understand what I mean. Keep Cordell Patterson 84 in Atlanta. CP 84. I agree. Duke Johnson playing for the Buffalo Bills now, by the way. Sorry, forgot. Forgot to mention that in the free agency part, but yeah. I'm sure that really broke a lot of people's hearts. Duke Johnson, formerly the Miami Dolphins. Get that money. Couldn't keep. Mike White. Mike White. Let's see. Buffalo Bills. They donate $700,000 raised. That's cool. I think we're done here. I think we're done. I haven't seen anything that's like a deal or anything that's really cool. I think we got all that we could out of this. 49ers signed Greg Odom to a 3-year deal. Shout out to Greg Odom getting that money. I think we're done. Changes to the coaching staff. Hold on. This is like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like on my to-do list every single day, and I get it done like maybe 25% of the time because a lot of the time it's like semi boring as fuck to get in this list. But sometimes there is like key information that can be transferred into the show in some way, shape, or form. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've been out here for 2.5 hours. Goddamn. Shout out to everybody who's been here for the wild ride. I had a lot of fun. It wasn't really directed in any way, any general sense or any general way, and that may or may not be, that may become a problem like later on or something. But as of right now, it's not. We're gonna do one thing because I didn't get hit with a copyright claim the last time I did it, so I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna end Study Hall by playing a song that's constantly stuck in my head lately, and it's "Fire" by Kimberly Nicole. Hopefully it's not. It is going to go to ads, so we are not going to let those play. I'll let it play on another video that I watch because I'm going to watch a podcast while I set up tweets and shit like that. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we about to get out this piece. Shout out to everybody who showed up. Wash your hands, wash your ass. If you have the ability to wash your entire body, please do that as well. Stay safe. Do good. What else? Oh! Go home, Roger. In my bones, I got this fire in my bones. No way. I got this fire in my bones. I got this fire in my bones like fire. Fire in my heart tonight. Fire in my heart to see it. Believe it. 911 an emergency like fire. Fire in my heart tonight. Fire in the heart.